welcome to the very first video on my channel where I talk about all things faith, family, fitness, and of course my favorite things. And today in this video I'm going to bring you my favorite go-to recipe for snacks, my Copycat Kind Bars. And these are delicious. So some pros to making this recipe is it's super customizable. You can change out ingredients, make it how you want. I have kind of made this recipe over and over and over again, and so this one's the one where I kind of like, okay, this is the closest to the Kind Bar that I really like, but I'm not opposed to trying other options later on. Also, it's nice to make your own snacks because you know exactly what's going into it and you can control that, so I do like that. The only con to this recipe is it is a little bit time consuming. Although super easy, I kind of try to do it when I have laundry and I'm going to be in and out of the kitchen, where I'm home. There is a lot of cooling time, little breaks in between, so that is the only bad thing. And I guess you could call it a con, but I do have to store these in the fridge, and it is best to keep them cooler so they don't melt whenever you do want to snack on them. So with that said, let's get into the number one key ingredient. Even though it's not going to be an ingredient, it is going to be what you're going to make the bars in. Okay, I do not sell Pampered Chef. I don't make any money off this. I probably should because I love Pampered Chef products, but this is a game changer product when making these. They come out with this little silicone snack bar. You can make so many different things with this, but with this, you need something silicone. We are going to be popping the things out, putting them back in these different phases. So I do like to, when I'm making this, put it inside one of our bar pans. It's nice, it keeps it flat whenever it's cooking, cooling, all that. And then the lid is just nice for storing it in the fridge. I know when I bought this, it did come with this cute little spatula, fits perfectly, a little bit easier getting stuff out. So with that said, let's get into the ingredients. So the first part, you are going to need 9 ounces of nuts. So this is where the customizable part comes in. You can get to choose whatever nuts you want. I love the food chopper. I have found that if you put it on one of those little flexible mats, get as much in there, 10 is it. You don't want to crush these up so much that they're too small, and you also don't want them to be too big that they're not going to fit nicely inside the thing. So I always say 10, get a little bit of anger out, and it just seems to be the perfect chop. I did pre-chop some of these so that I don't waste your time. Okay, so you will need a bowl. Once your 9 ounces of nuts are chopped up, go ahead and put that in a container. Okay, next things next. We're gonna need 1 cup of dried fruit. So I go to Aldi and they carry these dried cranberries. They also have a bag of dried mixed berries. I'm not exactly sure what is in there, but I'll need a cup of that. I'm just gonna toss it right in. Again, Pampered Chef, just love it. So you are gonna need a silicone spatula. I like to mix this up right away. And the silicone, once we get into the wet ingredients, it makes it easier, less sticking. So, pretty simple. Those are the dry ingredients. And right now, I'll go ahead and preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll put this aside and move on. Okay, wet ingredients. You're gonna need coconut oil. Aldi carries this, other brands carry it too. I do like to get the unrefined, organic, cold press. I like to use 2.5 tablespoons. That seems to be the sweet spot. Sometimes I need a little bit more, but if you do a little bit too much, it gets greasy, and then you can really, when it cools off, there's a little bit too much coconut oil. So 2.5 tablespoons seems to be the perfect amount. Then for the sugar, coconut sugar. Thrive, I love Thrive Market. I can put a link in the description. They have so many different items on there. Better options than I substitute brown sugar for coconut sugar. So once your coconut oil is melted down, you'll put 2 tablespoons coconut sugar, and then you're gonna need 100% maple syrup, 4 tablespoons of this. This all together, and then we'll grab our dry ingredients. Alright, and this is where also it's nice to have the spatulas. You can get every little bit out. Kids come out of the room from playing. All right, stir all this together. You want to make sure it'll be mixed well, combined well. Okay, so the last part, and we do this towards the end, you are going to need some dark chocolate. So that is going to be, again, up to you. Aldi does care. I try to get the 100% cocoa, cacao, whatever you want to call it, but Aldi does carry a 75 and an 85. So with these, it comes in little bars. I use about 3.5. And when we're ready for that step, I'll melt it down, and that's going to be a base layer. So that's pretty much it with all the ingredients. So now all we're going to do is take our mixture, and you're going to put it in here and compact it down into the 12. Okay, so as you can see, I've got all of these filled up. I am just pressing them down. I really want them compacted. It's going to help when we take them out for the first time. Keep them together. These look so good already, and they look pretty. They're festive. And it's gonna go in for about 20 to 25 minutes. Set it for 20, look. If you think it could be browned a little bit more, and then we'll take it out. Afterwards, we'll see how it goes. So I just pulled these out of the oven. They look good. So now we're gonna let this cool down for at least 30 minutes. It may take a little bit longer, especially if it is in the pan. You want it cool enough so that we can put it in the fridge and nothing's gonna crack. If anything, I can always pop this out, put the lid on, throw it in the fridge. You do want it to cool for at least 30 minutes in the fridge to an hour, just depends. And then we'll go ahead and do the next step with the chocolate, cooling it again, and then they're ready to serve. I did pull this out of the fridge. Everything's nice and cooled. There are a couple ways of doing the next step. You can either flip this whole thing over, and what makes it easier is putting the lid on, flipping over, and then you could press from the back and pop out all of the bars at once. You'll want to melt down your chocolate, put a layer at the bottom with them empty, and then you'll pop back in the bars, put them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes so it's nice and cool, and then they are ready to go. I am trying another method. I haven't tried this part yet, but I'm actually scooping, popping them up, putting the chocolate down. You can see now there's some chocolate in there, and then I'm just going to place these back in, and you're gonna have some crumbling. It's okay. Once the chocolate's at the bottom and then it cools again, that's where it's gonna settle and set, and the bars will be really nice afterwards. A lot of times I will have a little bit extra chocolate by the end of this, and I'll just take it and drizzle over the whole thing, and it kind of makes it look pretty at the end. So I'm just kind of putting in. That is one nice thing about this spatula. It fits perfectly. Lift it out. Drop in some chocolate, spread it evenly. And we'll pop it back in. Note to self, here's what not to do. Don't try to do something new that has not worked for you in the past. I thought, oh, I'm gonna try this new thing, scooping them, chocolate in. No, I've never done that in the past. That was the most annoying thing I could have done. So learn from my mistakes. When you pull them out of the fridge, pop the lid on, flip the whole thing over, pop them out individually, and then you can spread the chocolate evenly over each, pop them back in, and voila. So that's my note to self. I have a little bit of extra chocolate. I have all the chocolate on the bottom, and I'm just going to make it look fancy. Get some chocolate drizzle on the top. Now I can put in the description a rough calorie for each bar, but obviously if you're going to be using other ingredients, it's going to be different. All the chocolates at the bottom, these are going back in the fridge. And the next time you see me, you'll get to see the finished product. There we go. Okay, we finally have our finished product. I pulled everything out of the fridge, and we're just going to slowly and carefully pop this out, and we have our finished Kind Bar, Copycat Kind Bar. So delicious. I usually do store these in the fridge, and I have these little glass containers. These are my favorite for meal prep and storing anything. Freezer, fridge, perfect. Stack all them in there, and then they're ready for those early morning workouts where I need something in my stomach or a snack, or sometimes those late night desserts, sweet tooth craving, they're ready to go. So I hope you liked it. Please let me know if you try it. Write in the comments what you thought of it. If it was easy, difficult. And I also want to know your different combinations. I'm always willing to try new stuff. This just seems to be the one that I like the most, but let me know what little switch ups you've done in the comments. Thank you for watching.